is Oluremi Martins, founder Natural Girl Wigs, a hair company that provides textured hair for Black women. I'd really just want to share that, the dream of building a company, especially like a digital-focused company, can be achieved by anyone. All you need to do is understand the basics and also, your passion. If you're really building a company that sort of resonates with your passion, your own needs as well, you can connect with thousands and millions of people who are just like you. The beautiful thing about the internet is that you can always create a community and connect with people globally, irrespective of where you're from. And I would really just want to share my journey so that people can understand that if I can do this, you can do this as well. Hello, welcome to Heart of the Matter. Today we're talking about loan opportunities that are available to businesses who have, suffered from the COVID crisis or have been affected and are trying to, kickstart back into business again.
Okay, I think for me, the biggest changes that have happened through the whole COVID is actually how to deal with uncertainty. So now, all of a sudden, now everybody has to be indoors and things actually have to change. The kids were at home, amongst others. So basically, how do I adapt? What can I do differently? How do I change my consumption habits, amongst others? So I think that for us has been like the biggest change. We're also looking at the numbers. Where are the numbers going? What is changing? What is the consumer pattern talking about? So in terms of biggest change, that's what I'm thinking. What do you think?
Frankly, I think that, people are really looking at opportunities right now.
True.
People are looking to learn a lot, right? People are saying that there's actually a lot of opportunities for them online. I saw I saw a tweet from someone who, was selling a face mask, and she said, oh, she made 600,000 in a week from selling face masks. And it's someone that even has a job. She just did it as a side thing. So I think that people are looking out for more opportunities. And I think that's the direction that people should go. Someone was saying something about every time there's been a crisis like this at this level, a lot of people have come out to be millionaires from it,
Absolutely.
right? And this is not just me saying that people should take advantage of other people, but even within our communities. So, for example, a lot of children are at home. I think there are ways that, people in communities and estates can create a community knowledge thing for themselves, right?
Absolutely.
So, generally, I would say people should just look out for opportunities, take advantage of the learning platforms. A lot of international schools and international platforms now are giving people free access to their platforms to learn. And myself, there was this e-commerce platform that I joined that would usually be $1,000. I was able to join for free, and I've learned so much from them. So I think looking out for platforms you can learn, seek knowledge from, and also looking out for platforms that are giving people opportunities. There's also the opportunity for people to start new careers.
Absolutely.
even in all of this.
Absolutely.
So I think just being positive, because at the end of the day, in every negative situation, there's always going to be the positive side. So let's just focus on the positive and keep going.
I totally agree. There's a saying out there that whenever there's a recession, it's an opportunity for money to change hands. So money is going from X and it's going to Y. So how are people positioning? So the other time, even as a company, we did a research and we're looking at who are the winners from this. So we've rightly said, we've spoken about the logistic businesses. We've spoken about the online knowledge. It's really, really amazing, especially now that the children are home. So for instance, we launched a kiddies arm that actually teaches children about financial literacy from the comfort of their home. And it's doing really, really well. So businesses that we might have not kickstarted if that whole thing has not happened. So we're looking at the online knowledge businesses, we're looking at logistics. People are actually also saying that the sales in computers are actually going up.
Yeah.
So ordinarily, let's say you had just a computer, maybe occasionally your child will use it. Now, the children actually now need their own tabs, they need their own computer, amongst others. So we're actually seeing new markets, new changes.
Things are changing hands.
Yes.
So you just want to position yourself. Are you the one giving people? Are you
the one receiving?
Are you the one receiving? So that's just it. And I think that is enough opportunities to go around.
That's a fantastic mindset to actually have. Just always knowing that there's enough opportunities to go out there, enough opportunities. It's a fantastic mindset. I don't know if you saw the story online. There's this lady called Aramide. She got admission into Harvard.
Oh, yeah.
In the midst of a recession or in the midst of a slowing growth, where people are stuck at home because of COVID, the community actually raised $68,000 for her. So how was she able to pull that off? So also, even as small businesses, crowdfunding is also something to start looking at. If you wanted to start something new, have you reached out to family? Have you reached out to friends? Have you tried to tap into different markets and just basically tell them the story?
That's amazing. Really,
Yeah,
really
it
amazing.
is.
Yeah, I mean, I think the beautiful thing is that people, I feel like we don't give people credit enough.
I agree.
People would always adjust to things. I mean, understandably, some people are still finding it hard. But like even now, like even in government, people are used to like just doing, so I think that I'm not saying that like online is like the total future. I think the future is flexibility for people to have like online communities and still hold their own physically, but being able to sort of like merge everything and we'll survive, we'll pull
We will
through.
survive. Hi, my name is Oluwatosin Olasende. I'm the founder of Money Africa. So Money Africa is a financial literacy platform, and that's basically what we do. We enjoy to teach people about their money to help them approach financial independence. Okay, so I got my first degree at the age of 20 and I worked in South Africa. For the first 4 years, I was living from hand to mouth. And after I relocated back to Nigeria, I remember my mom giving me money in church as offering and I was very, very upset. I told myself I never wanted that to happen again. I wanted to take charge of my money. So if you look at those that have become successful, they play the long-term game. It's like a seed. You plant the seed, you put in the water, you add some fertilizer and you wait. It won't happen overnight. So that's the biggest thing about money. For that you can't control is really beyond you. But for those ones that you can control, we would like you to sit in the driver's seat to actually steer the wheel and take the journey by yourself.
Tosin, what are the loan opportunities available and how can people take advantage?
So after the whole crisis happened, the Central Bank of Nigeria launched the COVID fund, 50 billion naira. So basically it is targeted at SMEs and also households. I was a bit surprised that all households actually have access to it.
That's interesting.
So what actually happens is that the household has to prove that they've been affected. The businesses also have to prove that their activities have been affected. So once they fulfill those two requirements, then they have to look at other things. So this loan is basically targeted at a couple of things. So for instance, you're looking at the agricultural ecosystem, you're looking at the health, you're looking at manufacturing or anything that is value adding, and you're also looking at airline services. So if you fall within any of those categories, you can go in, make an application and be able to access that loan. Now for the households, there's a maximum of 3 million naira. For the SMEs, there's a maximum of 25 million naira. Now, there's a catch. It's actually a duration of about a year. That's the duration of that loan. Now, if you have a term, then it can be for 3 years. So sometimes people might be of the opinion that, oh, that loan is for 10 years or it's for 5 years. No, it's actually either 1 year or 3 years. And also the interest rate is 5%. You would hardly ever get 5% from any of the commercial banks. So that is pretty favorable. And then from the 28th of February next year, the interest rate reverses to 9%, still favorable. So, yeah.
That's actually interesting. But my question is this in terms of should businesses even, be looking to find loans or what kind of businesses should be seeking loans? At what point do you think as a business that I should probably go get a loan?
That's a very, very good question. If a business is seeking loan, then they should be asking themselves, do I actually need that loan? So how would you know? Number one, we look at things like affordability. Can I afford to repay that loan? Because now you're paying back the capital and you're also paying back the interest. Number two, you're looking at is the interest rates. The rates are very, very critical. Now imagine you going to a microfinance company to take a loan that is going to cost you about 5% per month. Can you?
Wow.
Yes, very high. So can you actually afford the rate of that loan? Then number three, which is actually the most important of them all, is my return on investment higher than the cost of the loan? So if I'm getting a loan, for instance, at 10% per annum, I should be expecting nothing less than 10% per annum in terms of running my business, in terms of the return. So that is even the most critical element of it all. The cost of my loan compared to the return on the investment of that loan.
That's interesting. Yes, thank you very much, Tosin. So I feel like aside from, conditions like if the loan is favorable or if the rates are good and all of these other conditions, internally for a business, what are the conditions that you should look out for? Because I know that for some businesses, it's like, oh, we cannot continue to, move forward. And for some businesses, it's like, oh, we want to expand. What conditions do you think that a company or a business has to look into before they decide that, the next step is to take a loan?
That's a very, very good question. So one should actually look at your numbers. So you're asking yourself, should we continue to grow organically? So organically basically is you're taking your profit and you're putting it back into the business for it to continue to grow. But now you can also be asking yourself, are there more opportunities that we can seize? Are there other things that we can actually grow and expand to that our current capacity is not able to maintain. In that case, then fantastic. You can start looking at options of a loan, things like the interest rates and all the other things that we mentioned. But you have to be able to prove it, that it's something that you couldn't have managed on your own without seeking that external help.
I like that point. So you're saying that businesses should also sort of like, look inwards. If there are things you can achieve on your own, then maybe it's not really time for a loan. You can just, still work things out yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Can you share with us local businesses in Nigeria that have leveraged loans and are doing well and sustaining with it?
Okay, so for lots of local businesses, because they are not registered on the stock exchange, they are not obligated to let us know if they've actually taken a loan or not. So most cases, you actually be hearing it from the founders. So there was a time that the founder of Nuts and Cake shared her story, talking about how she took loans from family and friends and was able to build the company. Now she's gone ahead to have more branches across Nigeria, or specifically even across Lagos, and situated more branches, built a more workforce and grown revenue. So these are some of the businesses that actually taken loans and they were able to see the numbers come through.
Like you said, because most of these stories are not public, right? People cannot, tell you, there's no way for you to actually know the businesses that are taking loans and businesses that are not taking loans, except you hear personal stories. Sharing my own personal story. In the beginning for me, it was me, taking some money from my friend and also, raising money from my own salary at the time and just putting this together to see what works for the business. I think it's important for businesses to understand that if you're taking money from people or if you're taking loans from people, every month you should set aside some money where, it's like, oh, this is the money that I've taken from someone, and this is the money that, I have to repay this person, or this is money I'm paying back at so time. I think the problem with a lot of businesses, which your platform, educates about, is understanding that you need to sort of like, differentiate your money and say your loan money or your growth money and that kind of thing. Are there special sort of like services where businesses can be informed about, how to navigate when, taking loans or managing loans?
There are actually lots and lots of businesses, targeted at SMEs, that actually tell them that. They can tell them that, listen, stay off, you're not yet ready. They can tell them, listen, this is the number. So for instance, if a company is making a profit of 200,000 naira every month, they have no business taking a loan that will require a repayment of about 100,000, because there goes about 50% of their monthly profit. So when you're looking at those numbers, you can then make a decision that, can we afford this loan? Should we even be taking this loan? And if we choose to take this loan, is there a more efficient system more efficient rate in the market? So should I go to a commercial bank instead? Should I loan from family and friends? Should I get a loan that can give me a moratorium? A moratorium is a period where as they don't have to pay yet and they can pay off later. So these are all the things that actually, and there are lots of SMEs that actually
let me just go back a bit. So on the CBN loan that is available for people to apply for, do they have that kind of package whereby you don't have to pay for a particular period of time till, when things are, a bit stable?
Yes, they do. They have a moratorium for 1 year. That is the one for the term that is for a 3-year duration. You have an option of a 1-year moratorium, so you can only start paying from the 2nd year.
That's interesting, guys. I think this is something that people should look into, because I imagine that a lot of people are not even aware of these opportunities, so they do not even go for them because they are not aware. Thank you. That's very interesting. So we'll be going on a break now, and when we come back, we'll be discussing more financial opportunities and tips for businesses. Thank you.
My brother is an addict. He dropped out of school in 2015, and all he does is eat, smoke weed, and drink alcohol. He gets violent and would destroy stuff just to get his way. He's been in and out of rehab 4 times, and my parents think it's some kind of spiritual force that needs to be prayed away. I'm afraid for their lives and for my brothers. Please help.
Family life is very important to me because I see the family as being at the center of God's redemptive plan for mankind. Every community has the family as its basic unit. It's the building block of any society.
Family life is a topic which hardly gets the attention it requires. For me, it addresses a lot of things we don't usually talk about.
So I bring this episode of Family Life every week, talking about one segment or the other of family life. We talk about marriage. How do you make marriages better? We talk about parenting. How do you deal with tough, difficult children? We talk about things like divorce, childlessness. We talk about adoption. We talk about a whole variety of things on Family Life with Wale Adefarasi.
I love the fresh perspectives that Pastor Wale gives while still focusing on biblical principles. I believe that if people know better, they will do better.
And so it's important that we give family life the prime of place and the prime of attention. At the moment, we are reaching 8 states of the Federation, and our goal is to be able to reach all 36 states. And so we're looking for partners that will join hands with us, support us in getting this out. Remember, as you join to support or to partner with us in making sure we're able to expand this program beyond our present reach, you are doing something for your nation.
Welcome back to Heart of the Matter. We've been discussing opportunities for businesses that have been affected with the COVID crisis. So Tosin, we've talked about financial opportunities regarding loan. So what are the other opportunities aside loan that businesses can tap into?
Fantastic. So when a business wants to raise money, they have 3 primary options. Number 1, can we grow organically? So you're improving your sales, you're asking yourself, how can we generate more income? Can we launch a new line? How else can we make money? Number 2, so that's very organic and that's internal. Number 2, you're looking at debts. Where can we get a loan from? Where can we borrow money? How can we borrow money? The number 3 is equity. So you're giving out a part of your business in exchange for funding and others. You could even have a situation whereas it's a mixed instrument, so you're mixing a bit of debts and equity. So sometimes some investors will be like, you know what? I'm not ready to go all in and just give you equity and just take an equity transaction. I want to mix it with debt and I also want to have some equity. So these are the 3 primary options that is actually available to business owners: internal growth, equity, and debt.
Okay, so for small businesses who are not necessarily taking a loan or taking investments, are there other financing ways? So I've heard of some businesses that help people sort of like finance to source their product, to source goods, to, run operations and all of that. What other financing opportunities in terms of like provision for businesses are they available today?
Like you rightly said, there's so many options. Now, the beautiful thing is that in accounting, there's something they call a substance over form. So there could be different forms, but if we were to peg it back, it will still fall under some substance. So let me look at some of the forms you're talking about. Number 1 could be crowdfunding. So instead of you going to just one person to say that, you know what, I want to part with some equity, you can go to multiple people and be able to say that, guys, let's come together, let's loan this company some money, and then when they make a profit, they will pay it back. Number 2 could be what? A strategic kind of relationship. So they borrow you inventory. Some people call it drop shipping. So they'll give you some inventory, go and sell, go and do the business. Once you finish selling, send us some profit. So they've also looked at track record, how you've behaved in the past. Let's say it's a manufacturer you've always used. These are some kind of deals that you can deal with. Now, if we're to bring it back to an accounting situation, they will treat it as a loan because it was a temporary lease of that goods to you. Another option could also be like, what can we exchange? So for instance, let's say now, I run Money Africa, you run a fantastic hair company, you also run a digital outfit. We can say that let's trade, let's do a barter. So let's say you can help me with marketing in exchange for something else. So that is another option. How can companies exchange? How can they collaborate? How can they leverage on each other's strength? So if one has marketing under lockdown, the other one could have other things under lockdown that they can both exchange and come to a synergy. So that these are all the other options that people. So in actual fact, what I would have ordinarily paid money for, how can I get it without necessarily paying cash and making it work?
That's actually very interesting. Talking about collaboration, What would you say that businesses can live? How can businesses leverage on, collaboration to move forward? When we're talking about like these times that we have, I know that logistic businesses are doing very well. I know that businesses that are providing food services, businesses providing health supplies and all of that are doing well. Can you maybe just in a brief way explain to us how some of these businesses can come together and collaborate to move forward?
So for instance, some businesses already have the database of these companies. They already know that we have these people in our database, but how can we use it? So for instance, let's look at a DHL, for instance. So DHL knows that their job is to actually do logistics. They're always moving and shipping things around. If you've bought from DHL once, they already have your data on the system. They don't have to call you and ask you for address again. It's already there. So how do they then partner with health companies? So you have your Health Plus, Med Plus, and the rest of them. They work together. You need some drugs. They get it. You're on your database. They ship it. They could even work in such a way that MedPlus can actually say, you know what, we're going to use some of your database and let us do that. So now in this case, we're saying a DHL, but it could even be a local company. It could be a smaller delivery company that has just 500 people on their list. So you start feeding them about this information that, have you considered this? Do you know you have this option? Now look at lots of schools. These schools are actually what? They are on break. The government has said that they are not allowed to teach. But how about extracurricular activities? They already have the list of all those parents. So you can with a company that teaches piano. You can work with a company that teaches ballet online. You have their database anyways. Both can collaborate together, share profit, share income, make it happen. So these are some of the
That's
options.
very interesting.
Yeah.
So this actually gives insights to why businesses should keep data.
Yes.
Because businesses that have the data of their customers, that have been communicating to their customers, can sort of like leverage on the information that they have to, bring more income to themselves as well. So thank you so much, Tosin. We've discussed opportunities for businesses from loans to debts, both the ones provided by government and how you can actually seek opportunities in commercial banks with family members, with references of people that have done this, as well as, collaborating between businesses, to move forward during COVID times. There's always an opportunity for you to leverage something to move forward. I hope you guys have learned something on today's topic, and, we'll be seeing you next week when we bring you more opportunities and discuss more platforms that you can take advantage of. Thank you.